Okay, everybody, Jeff's gonna make something. He's gonna tell you all about it.
Good afternoon, folks. No, it's not what you're thinking. This here is called poke salad. P-O-K-E, not P-O-L-K. These are greens. They grow out in the wild. But the funny thing about this particular plant, there's a certain time when the berries come on, that's when it's toxic. So you want to pick your leaves before that stage, because that's when it's edible. I was turned on to this when I was a little kid. Used to pick it all the time, process and cook it up. The first stage to the process is you want to take out the leaves. I know it has a resemblance to poison ivy, but it's not poison ivy. And what I do is I take out what I'm going to clean. I always put mine in cold water or lukewarm water, which the sink is right behind me.
Can you move that bowl for me so maybe they can see a little bit? Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Do a little more. And normally, when I pick these, I like my leaves to be about this size, but of course my cousin was being very generous and wanted me to take as much as I wanted, so I didn't get greedy. I just got enough to do what I'm going to do. And again, you want to set them in the sink. And what I like to do is I like to let mine soak, because of course coming from outdoors, there are certain kinds of insects that use these leaves for a home. Some spiders.
Don't want none of them. They can stay.
And I let them soak. All that comes off, but you still have to look over them real carefully even after they soak. You want to make sure that you're not cooking your poke greens, or poke salad as some people call it, which is actually what it is. There's a song about this very green, but I won't go into that. I'm not a singer. But you want to make sure that even after you wash them, you still want to thoroughly go through and look through them even after you soak them. Because a lot of times, let's say like your bigger size, like this, you'll get spiders like to put a little web in here, build a little cocoon thing in here, and they house little insects. And you also want to check on the back, because there's nice little crevices in here where they like to build their little home to raise their little family. So you still want to make sure that after they soak, you go back through and look through them very thoroughly. And I may not show the whole process today, but I can tell you how I do. You know, I clean them, I rinse them at least 3 times. And what you do, you want to boil these, rinse them, boil them again at least 3 times. And that's just how I do. You can prefer, but I'm just telling you what I was taught, to at least boil them and drain them, boil them, and drain them again 3 times. That's what I do. Sometimes I do it one extra time. And what it'll do, it will decrease in size. It's just like spinach. It decreases in size and it becomes just like sauteed spinach. but I do mine with onions, little salt and pepper, you know, but it's going to reduce after you boil it. And once the boiling process is complete, then you take it straight to a cast iron skillet and just saute it, just like you would do spinach or kale or anything. But I use my ingredient I use in the cooking process is a little bit of bacon fat. Not much, but just enough to give it flavor. And then that's it. It's that simple. Bacon grease and maybe some chopped onions, your preference. But, you know, that's just how I do. That's what I cook. That's what I was taught, and that's what I do. And it's very simple. Very simple.
So what are you going to do today?
Today, I'm just going to blanch these. After I get them out of the water, I'm going to blanch them. You know, and
what's blanching for those who don't know?
Blanching is you boil it for a few minutes. It'll reduce, it'll look like it's cooked. And that is so that I can put them in the freezer for when I get ready to cook these. You know, but since I know I'm just going to blanch mine, I don't have to do the whole boiling process. But what I do is I'm going to blanch these and get them ready for the freezer until I get time to go and process and pick some more. So that's all we'll be doing today is just the blanching process and getting them ready for the freezer.
All right, here we go. You're just soaking right now. You can go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them soak, but I'm gonna separate some more of these. Didn't know I had this many. And even these, it looks like a lot, but once you blanch them, they'll reduce. And always remember, like I said, if you go, this stuff grows out in the wild. But you want to make sure that you never pick these when the berries are on there, because that's when it's toxic. And this is the next batch that's ready for the soaking process. And we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back. And you see this here, this is one that has been eaten off of by some kind of insect, probably a caterpillar, because I've seen a lot of them. These I will not use for the purpose of, you know, it's already been eaten. You don't know what kind of bug did this, so I don't use these kind. These go straight in the trash. Hello, folks. Well, we're back. It's time to blanch the poke leaves. So I'm waiting for the water to boil, and you want it at a roaring boil or rolling boil, whatever you want to call it. Make sure it's boiling.
Make sure it's boiling.
And you just put them in there, let them reduce, and you do this about 3 times.
Do you guys put salt in the water or anything?
Some people prefer salt. I can put salt in there if desired, but I'm not going to do that because I'm only doing this for the process of freezing them and not ready to season them when I get ready to eat them. So this is just a process to show how to store poke salad in your freezer.
How long do you let them do this for?
I'll boil mine for about 5 or 10 minutes or until they wilt. See, some of them are beginning to wilt.
Bring it down up there.
You want them to wilt. And remember, this is only for the purpose of storing them, for the freezer, not when I'm going to prepare them, because when I'm ready to prepare them, they're going to be a little more limber than this. But you want it to boil or blanch for 5 minutes, 7 at the most.
So it's been like 5 minutes?
It's been 5 minutes, and this is the consistency that you want then.
For freezing.
For freezing. Now when you get ready to cook these, you want to boil them 3 times. Change the water each time you boil them. After your 3rd time, they're good to go ahead and, you know, cook them how you want to with your bacon grease and your chopped onions. But this is how you want it to look. That's the consistency that you want. Now, when you look in the pot, you see that color water? That's the color your water should be after.
Can you stick the rest in that same water that you're gonna?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Because we got a whole bunch more.
This is just to prepare them for the freezer.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't worry about, you know, changing the water.
Right now.
Use the same water
For blanching.
for blanching.
Okay, we'll come back when it's time to show you how it freezes it. Get it ready for the freezer. Some more to finish that up. We'll be back.
Drain off any excess water. 2 different size bags. This is for personal use. These are for storage.
The gallon size bags.
Yes, the gallon size bags. The reason I say personal size, everybody doesn't eat poke salad.
Oh, you mean for the size of the bag for just
Yeah.
if you want just someone to have?
So you can do it smaller size or large size for if you're going to store a lot of it. If you're going to use it, or you know people that like this, you can give them their own personal bag. And it's been about, what, half an hour, so this is fairly cool.
I still see steam. Is that all right?
That's okay. Steam is okay. What I do is I like to use a container to make the bag stand up. What I like to do is get as much as I possibly can in the bag, shake it down, add a little more. And seal it up. But you want to make sure that you push all of the air out of the plastic bag as you possibly can. Now that is ready for the freezer. And just repeat the process for each size bag. Obviously, if it's a bigger bag, it'll take more.
Is this All the ones you had?
This is every bit of poke salad I had.
Look how much it went down.
Man, I told him it would reduce. And you see it still has that consistency of sauteed spinach, which is what you want. And again, this is for the sole purpose of storing it.
So I guess we'll come back when it's time to cook it and show y'all all that. So we'll just stick it in the freezer when it's done. Should you let it cool down some more before you put it in the freezer, or just it's fine?
You don't have to. These bags are strong enough that even when it starts to freeze, it's not gonna burst the bag. But it's fine just like this.
Alrighty. Okay, everybody. Guess we'll see you when it's time to cook them.
Bye.
Bye.